Welcome to another match of Ether Raids. We are taking on. I forgot if I had a. I don't remember if this is a rematch or not. I kind of just loaded up, but yeah, we're gonna go into this one. I did take quite a few losses on defense. The defense that I'm running for this week is essentially the same old like defense. I just swapped Loki out of the extra slot and put her into the main team so that she is bonus now. The downside is that the team wasn't really. I didn't change the movements of the team, so the way that the team moves now is way worse than how it was. It's not intended for Loki to be in this position, so I did anticipate that we get a few losses because of it, because it's a lot easier to bait the team out now and for the formation to break, especially with the saves that are stuck in the back. So it's a little bit difficult. So we're going to get a couple of losses this week, but on top of that, I'm just not quite sure. I wasn't quite sure what to build now with the corn ring that I still haven't gotten yet. Halfway on the sparks for that. So yeah, I don't know what that's going to end up being, but we got a pretty tough defense here, in the sense that if you were to for me, someone that doesn't play with a safe defense, if you were to try to bait this, it'd be kind of difficult, because of the range that the team covers here. But I mean, overall, it's not too much to deal with. We're just going to go in here with Yunaka. Thankfully, she's a Dagger 8 pan. Dagger units, I feel like, have increased significantly in value. I don't know. Like before, I never played with Dagger units. Because of Disarm Trap, particularly. Before, I never played with Dagger units. I kind of just would smite onto a trap and get going on the following turns. But because, again, I don't play with a safety fence, and the way how teams are built these days, it's pretty much they're going to be in your face on the first turn unless you do something. You don't really have time to kick back and think for a minute and wait a couple of turns to kind of set up. So it's definitely increased the value of having someone on your team with Disarm Trap, or at least one of your teams that has Disarm Trap on there, just to allow you to get through situations like this without having to waste actions, because that's what you would probably end up doing. In most cases, you'd end up wasting actions and getting stuck and potentially losing because of it. So very, very high on Dagger units right now. I think they have a solid place in the meta. I think Yunaka is still a fantastic unit once you can get past the save units, once there's no Hardy Bearing, once it's not Black Knight or Jimbro, because she really struggles against both of those because of how high their defensive bulk is, and Hardy Bearing. But yeah, once you can get past those things, Yunaka is still fantastic, and that's like 3 things in the meta in a game that has over 1,000 units. So I don't see a reason to bench her. Still using her as of this. I mean, you see her in this match, of course, and she partners very well with this team with Boulder and Golveg, Summer Golveg. Still fantastic. Still, it's the extra actions, man. Yeah, I don't see that. And also the fact that she's a ranged unit, because Felix has similar potential, but I don't use him as much. And also it's one less action on Felix unless you're to give him Gale Force, which would significantly reduce his killing power. So yeah, I guess you could give Felix on this team the extra range if you were to partner him with Lynn. But he's just not as fun as Golveg, and Golveg has the dual button, 3 actions, 4th action potentially. Yeah, it's just not close at all. So Summer Golveg still highly valuable in my opinion. I guess at some point we're going to start getting more range nukes that she's unable to take out. We already have a few, but you just don't see all of them on defense at the same time, because the meta is currently very focused towards melee units, and most of them don't have this encounter. And then also, she's just able to live a hit, which is fantastic from a range nuke. She's bulky with support, depending on how you build the team around her. So it's very good to have her on the team to be able to round everything out and get me across the map in situations where I need to. And the Celica ring just pairs very well with her. I feel like I've sung her praises so many times before, but she just continues to perform. And yeah, I think we're gonna take everything here and leave Tree Man in the back since he has limited movement.
orders?
So we're gonna take everything else.
Are there bandits here? Got
But
it.
yeah, I was saying my defense isn't fully thought out. I don't know what to do. Well, I mentioned this before, I guess. I don't know what to do about the new corn because of how massive the spread of the terrain is. It goes pretty much similar coverage to Camilla's miasma, pretty much similar coverage there. So
You're all right.
I don't really know what to do about that, and I don't know if it's a situation where, I mean, we have gotten what's his face, got a refine, Yen Fei, who got a refine that was pretty cool, but it's not on the offensive side, and it doesn't go in a similar spot where Camilla's go. But then, even if you were to get another Camilla type unit that inflicted the, or not inflict, activated the defensive or offensive terrain on the same turns phase that she did, it would just overlap and all of them would end up overriding each other. So you probably end up not being able to actually do anything. So
We'll see it through.
I don't think that's a solution, having another Camilla type unit that activates the same type of terrain effect. I don't think that's the solution. The solution is definitely mobility,
What you need?
and having the getting back the threat range. And I don't know how we get that back now, because our biggest threat range, or the unit that had the biggest threat range, was Camilla. So since she is like hindered,
So
we're
be
looking
it.
back now at Byleth, Yoma, Erica, maybe even Sigurd. Maybe Sigurd can make a comeback. I don't know, but it's tough, man. Okay, here we go, another match. We're gonna get going on this one. We've been using similar teams composition. You saw the teams earlier this week, and they still function very well. I'm very happy with Hinoka right now. I do think Trample is actually better than the. What am I saying? I think Blue Skies is better on her instead of Trample. Someone pointed out to me. I was like, "Where's her cancel?" And yeah, they pointed out to me that the cancel was in Blue Skies. Which automatically makes it better, unless you're going to outsource the cancel, which I have not done on this team. I guess you could swap someone out for Lucina, but I mean, who would I swap? Yeah, that would be the solution there, or cancel from a dance. That would also be the solution. But yeah, Trample, or the easiest solution is to give her Blue Skies back, because so far she hasn't really died to a lot of things, which is very commendable. So probably Blue Skies would be performed similarly to Trample in the sense that, her survivability at the very least, but also on top of that, give her the cancel mobility back. So I think whenever I do unlock the team, that's probably going to be the build that I go with. The Trample is nice because the desperation is pretty cool, but so far I just have not needed it. She just does so much damage. She typically one-shots, and then she's living most retaliation hits. So yeah, it's good. I think the Blue Skies is better. On Hinoka, still surprised that she does not have English voice lines, but with the strike being over, I guess all the VAs are tied up working, and it's just I was thinking like what do you call it? There's a side of me that was thinking that maybe the voice actors were recording the voice lines in secret, and that they wouldn't put it out until everything was updated. But that doesn't. They just appears that they just were not working at all, and being purist, true to the strike, not taking payments under the table. So we just don't have any voice lines. I think that's what it boils down to, and they're just now probably in the process of recording some of these, and probably won't get a couple of these voice lines until next year. Voice acting is a busy industry. A lot of new gachas, a lot of new animes, a lot of projects that require voice acting. So I can imagine that, and it's not that big of a circle. And the popular ones, the good ones, are very in demand. So I can imagine that their schedules are booked out for the foreseeable future. So I don't know when we're going to actually. I was really just hoping that we'd get an update notification, and it would be all voice notes, all English voice lines are added to the game. I was just hoping it would be something like that, but yeah, nothing to that point up until now. So I don't think it's a money thing. I think they're just busy. That's my assumption.
So be it.
Because it's really easy to just pay someone. I mean, the money would have already been there because you haven't paid the English voice actors. So what would you have done with the money aside from sit on it, or spend it on development, or unless someone wanted a raise, I guess. But otherwise, the money should have been there. So it can't be a payment thing. And if you subtract that, all that's left is time. So yeah, that's kind of, not great. We're just gonna have to keep waiting.
Into the sun.
But yeah, Yunaka's the one that's actually carrying the team here, allowing us to get around the map alongside Celica Ring, even though Celica herself not great right now, which is kind of insane, man. Celica came out and actually just completely changed the way that you had to play offense, and it was so tough combating her, and now to have her not even be a problem just a year or two later, that's kind of insane, man. Power creep, I don't know. And the problem is with these emblem units, until their refined batch comes out and they start getting refines, and who knows when that's gonna be, there's really nothing that you can do to update them. Like someone like Celica, heavily dependent on her weapon and her special because that's where her stuff is. Yeah, you could give her different skills, but there's just not going to be anything that's going to allow her to really do more damage, and that's where she's lacking right now, the damage department. She's never going to be able to take out a modern save, and that's just not great for her. That's not a position that she wants to be in as a ranged nuke, one of the highest threat range nukes that we've had. So I don't see a solution to that unless they give us an emblem ring that just adds plus 50 damage and she's just able to nuke purely off the emblem ring, but that would just be insane. So I don't know, man. Interesting times ahead for these emblem units, because just the idea of them potentially getting refines and remixes, something in and of itself insane. Imagine a refined emblem Ike with more stats. Probably by that time it probably won't even matter, because we do so much damage where we are right now that I don't think more stats is all it would take for him to be meta again. I actually forgot about the assigned decoy there. Lin was supposed to tank and counterattack, but we almost lost there. But luckily Plumeria is a good unit, so it didn't matter. So yeah, we're gonna close this out with Lin here. She has been a ton of fun. I highly recommend this. Even though I don't like her art, not a fan of this. Yeah, not a fan of the design, but she's a very good unit, man. Better than I thought. Alright, here is another match. A bit later on in the week, we got Pawns of Loki today. Probably going to play that a little bit. It's very difficult to stay in tier 10, let alone get to tier 11. But we got a rematch this time, and we got the Ice Terrain here. The Corrin Terrain, it's not necessarily ice. I wonder if this is what Ratatoskr is going to get for her refund and remix, because my god, she's terrible. Terrible unit. Like, looking back to when she just came out and they put her on the map by herself, and I was like, they've never done this before. And it was definitely intense fighting against that Ratatoskr. She was so strong with all the flat damage reduction. Well, it wasn't flat DR, just damage reduction in general that she had on that map, and to where she is now, where she can't kill it. Well, she can kill stuff. She's just not very good. Weakest of the helping hands by a long stretch. She needs way more damage output to be considered among the best. So I'm wondering if they're going to change her terrain effect. Definitely she's going to get more damage, more firepower. Looking back at what they did with Mythic Riggin, that was just terrible, man. They really did not give her the goods. So I'm pretty sure the Helping Hands is definitely like they're gonna get a ton of true damage, or at least she will. Can't say the same for Hearthvelger. She already
So
does
be
so
it.
much damage. I can't imagine her needing more. So
I request
yeah,
a
that's
match.
probably not where they're gonna go in when it comes to her. But Ratatoskr definitely needs way more damage. The fact that they're gonna get refines as well, if the game sticks around for that long, which I can't see why. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Aside from maybe not having characters, but they've solved that problem to an extent by releasing a new game, so they're gonna have to keep pushing out new Fire Emblem version. That's probably why they did the additional shadow drop of the shadows, just to get some additional characters in there that they can continue building on Fate for the future, and they can always just add more OCs, even though the story's not that great around them. But there's so much potential here. I can't see them fumbling it that badly where the game has to shut down. I just can't see it. Maybe people just get bored, but it's such a good playground to develop ideas around like strategy and team building. There's so much here for them to do. I just can't see them messing it up. But then we've seen bigger companies fail. The banking crisis did indeed happen out of greed. So, corporations always get greedy, and that tends to lead to their downfall. A little bit of a headache here trying to get through this terrain effect. It really slows down. I think it was echoing the sentiments of Land Luigi here. The terrain really slows down how you play Ather raids. Offense at the very least. I'm not sure about defense, but definitely have to take way more time thinking through this. I kind of was just gonna warp in there and take out Lyn. Rhea, then Lyn, but I can't do that now because the terrain is here. So break or attack, actually. Oh, there's no far save, by the way, so I can actually attack with Boulder. What would that look like? And miasma. Okay, we're gonna attack with Boulder then, as the initiator. Gonna go with, I think, Emblem. Maybe I think that might be the right play, something like this, and figure it out from there. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out from there. But yeah, the terrain really slows down the way that that you played offense. I don't know if that is the desired outcome. If they want offense, it's not necessarily difficult. It's just an additional thing that I have to do that slows me down, and then the canto control on top of it is a hindrance. But you can still play. So I don't know if this slowing down the offense is the intention, because that's not the biggest of deals, because you're going to get units eventually that can just override this and allow you to walk through. So I don't know if that's the solution, if that's the future of the terrain effects. I don't know, but it's cool, I guess. It's definitely something more to think about, definitely something to think about. And I'm looking forward to what additional upgrades they have for the fire terrain and the miasma terrain and the water terrain as well, that Corrin provides. So sky is the limit where the terrain effects go. There's so much that I can do with it. I just hope that they don't overdo it and start covering the entire map with more multiple terrains, because then you just won't be able to see anything, and traps become actually problematic there because you won't know where to put your units. So that's for the future, I guess. Not much else going on. Ooh, caught up on a bunch of animes.
Are there bandits
Also,
here?
I summoned someone, Matcha, but that's summoning. Kind of running out of orbs. I have run out of orbs. Whatever. Comet looks like a fantastic special. It's just Astra, supercharged Astra on crack. I think I've said that before, but yeah, watched a bunch of animes. Dr. Stone. Oh, I love Dr. Stone so much. It's like the perfect. I was a big Bill Nye but it wasn't Bill Nye. It was like I learned about Bill Nye later, and the concept of having a show that revolved around science. We had, back when I was growing up, we had our own version of that, but it was a different guy, JIS, and it was a different guy that was doing the science experiments and stuff, and I loved that. And to have an anime that is essentially that, but actually entertaining at the same time, and the concept is so fun. There's so many different elements to it, and the story is just so. I mean, granted, the direction of the second season wasn't as good as the first part of the last season that we got. Second part of the last season wasn't as good as the first part. The first part of last season was very, very good. The first 12 episodes. But the war where they started firing guns and stuff kind of felt a bit obvious in terms of what they were going to do. But my God, did they pull it off well. It was so good. So good, man. Dr. Stone, highly recommended. Watch it from the beginning. I don't know, you might not like it, but it's about science and what you would do if the world was actually over, how you would make science. Use science to build it back. It's so good, man. So good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then we had I'm watching this new thing, Gachi Kafi something, about the trash kid with his trash powers, and puns upon puns. It's okay, I guess. Everyone's saying it's anime of the season, but I do not concur. I don't agree in the slightest. It's good. Maybe they'll cook, or the author will cook, or maybe the manga is good later on it gets, but I'm not that attached to it in terms of the story. It's a bit lacking. Silent Witch, or The Silent Witch, was very good. Very, very good for what it was. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then, what else did I watch that I liked? A fragrance something. The fragrant flower blooms. The fragrant flower blooms. That was also very good as well. Thoroughly enjoyed that one too. So a few good animes this season. I still didn't watch. ReZero because I feel like I kind of have to go back and catch up to see what's going on before I watch this latest season. And then also The Water Magician, something about a water magician. That was okay, pretty cool, but the animation wasn't the greatest, but it was a good watch at the very least. So still a few more things to check out. Or the latest season has come out, and we got My Hero Academia, so I'm probably going to check that out as well. Man, just a lot of stuff to watch. It's a good time to watch, to be an anime fan, at the very least. GG's, we're done here. See you in the next one.